everyone, welcome back to Book and Prejudice. My name is Matt, and today we're going to be going through my TBR bookshelf and organizing my reading for the next 6 months or so. If you've been a long-term subscriber of this channel, you know that I always have like 6 books in my TBR that are just like constantly there, but it has been absolutely out of control since I would say Black Friday. Between Black Friday and Christmas, it's been completely insane, the amount of books that have been added, that I've been buying, that have been gifted to me. And so when January started, and I'd say around the second week of January, I decided that I was done. From now on, I wasn't gonna buy a single book until every single book in my TBR bookshelf was read, which was very hard for me to make at that decision, but I think I've done pretty well. The rule that I gave myself is that I am not buying myself books anymore. If somebody wants to gift me a book, I will still take it because I am not dumb. But the goal is not to buy any books, and I haven't. I have 2 books that are coming that I bought previously to making this decision, which is the second Crescent City book, which comes out the 15th of February, which is so exciting. And Atlas 6, the Waterstones edition, which comes out the 3rd of March. Which is also very exciting, but I bought those previously to having made this decision with myself. However, I think it's very important that I take a long, hard look at what I have and what I don't have, and then decide how I'm going to tackle my TBR. Because my TBR shelf used to be like a cube like this one, and that was it. And then it started piling up like on top of here like this, and then it's gone to here, which means that like it's just completely taken over the bookshelf. And the goal of this TBR shelf wasn't that it was just for me, it was also for my fiance Greg. So there's no space except for one of his books, and that's just completely unacceptable. Honestly, it's just completely out of control. So the goal today is gonna go through all of the books. I'm gonna kind of show them to you guys and then decide how I'm going to tackle it. Let's just decide that as well. So I'm just gonna grab my big coffee that my darling fiance got me and just put myself in a very awkward angle in that corner over there and just get going. So for a very quick overview of what I'm talking about, this is supposedly my TBR shelf, and out of all of these books, only this one belongs to Greg, so all of the rest are mine. But that has gone up to like here. You can see there's more books here and in my Kindle and everything. This book is also in my TBR. This book is also in my TBR, but I kept the series together. This book is also in my TBR. And then if you go down here, all of these Philippa Gregory books are books that I really want to read, and I just haven't because I've prioritized other books. So as you can see, it's not really in a controlled environment anymore. Like they're just everywhere at this point, and it really needs to be stopped. So that's what we're gonna do today. Okay, so welcome to my floor. I'm in the floor. You're in like a little tripod situation, but this is the best way that I have to show you the mess and what we're handling with. So I want to do several things. I want to count the books so that I can have like a little count tally throughout my book wrap up, so we can see how many of the TBR books I have read. And I also want to kind of go in a little bit of detail about what each book is. And then I also want to decide if there's any book that I know when I want to read. I also want to like decide that now. Oh, and I didn't mention it, but the only books I will actually be buying because of my collection is the Page Turners book club books, the book clubs books that I have with my friends. So those books I will continue to be purchasing just because that's what I have been doing, and I don't want to stop doing that. But other than that, no books. Great start, Mar. So let's getting out of this book so we can go through them properly. And yeah, let's get going. Okay, you cannot see, but I've compiled all of my books here, and ooh, this dances a lot. There we go. And we're now gonna go ahead. Oh, my coffee's up there. 1 second, please. There we go. And then we're gonna go ahead, count them, and see what we're gonna do next because this is a lot and I'm not very pleased with it, frankly. I did not realize it was this much, Frank, to be honest. So let's just, no order as usual. I'm just gonna get them for however big. Camus La Peste. I started reading this. I read about 20 pages and I quit because I'm a quitter. Really want to go back to reading it though. So I'll read Camus The Plague. I really want to read it. I got this beautiful box set of Carlos Ruiz Zafón's The Shadow of the Wind series. Would love to do a reread, but I have read these books, so this is not a priority. However, if possible, I would like to have a reread of them. Next. My friend Laura very nicely gifted me and Greg this book this weekend when she came over to visit us, and it's on the TBR pile now. Greg got me this book, Colin Hoover's It Ends With Us. Very excited to read it. Haven't read it yet. So I got it this weekend too for it, so that one is sort of acceptable. The Goldfinch by Donna Tartt. This has been in my TBR library for over half a year, so this is definitely one of the books that I want to prioritize more. This is El Legado de las Dryden by Cristina Murillo Muela. This is a Spanish book that is published by my cousin. My cousin actually has a publishing company and she published this book, so I really want to read this. I got this for Christmas, so it's not too bad, but it is definitely a priority because it takes place in Scotland. Also by my cousin's publishing company, Gathania by Sofia Barra. Got gifted this for Christmas this year, so not too bad, but definitely a priority on my list because I like the books that my cousin publishes. She publishes books that are very much my style, so I want to prioritize this. The Maidens, Christmas gift from Celia. Love her to bits for gifting this to me because I really wanted to read it. Definitely a top priority because it's Dark Academia and you know I'm a sucker for it. So yeah, this is embarrassing. So I'm turning 24 this year. I got this for my 22nd birthday from Celia as well and Julia, like two of my friends. The Name of the Wind, 2 books by Patrick Rothfuss. I really want to reread these. I read the first one, I sort of started reading the second one, and then my cousin, whether she wants to admit it or not, stole it from me. So definitely want to read these, and this is a thick boy, so this is gonna be like probably take me all month to just read. So definitely gotta plan properly for these two. The Betrayals, which is the continuation to The Binding. I really want to read it. It was gifted to me for my 23rd birthday. Again, that was not that long ago. So it's fine, but it was in August of 2021. So definitely has been here for a long time. Dark Tides, also gifted to me by my in-laws for my birthday. It's been over 6 months now. Definitely time to start reading it. The Library of the Dead. This is when I went on this huge rampage in Waterstones here in Edinburgh, and I bought like a bunch of books that took place in Edinburgh, and I know for a fact that the second book is coming up soon, if that hasn't come out already. So I really want to read this, but I bought this back in October, still haven't even looked at it. Sangre y Arena by Vicente Blasco Ibáñez. This was a gift from my boyfriend Greg. Darling Greg got it for me the 9th of October. Still haven't read it. It's a Valencian author and I really want to read it, but it's still in my TBR pile for some reason. Mallory Blackman, Noughts and Crosses. I actually don't really want to read this anymore, so I'm actually gonna replace this on the bookshelf because I'm not very interested in it anymore. So that one is actually been removed from my TBR, thankfully. Okay, this is embarrassing. Half a Yellow Sun by Chimamanda Ngozi Adichie. Bought this 2 summers ago, so summer 2020. Still haven't read it, and I want to read it in summer, but I'm gonna scrap that from my brain and I'm just gonna read it when I get to it. Oh my god. Okay. Girl A by Abigail Dean. Not sure what this book is about, but they gifted it to me on a book exchange Secret Santa on my Edinburgh Girly Book Club. So we'll be reading this because I'm very curious. Irene Vallejo's El Infinito en un Junco, which is a book about the history of books. My mom got this for me and I love it. The book itself is beautiful, but I'm not sure when I'm gonna have time to read it. I do know I want to read it though, so we'll see when I have time. Naomi Novik's Spinning Silver. I just got this book. I've actually been on a bit of a Naomi Novik kick because I read Uprooted. I'm now reading A Deadly Education, and the next book that I'm going to be reading is Spinning Silver. So this is my next book right after I finish A Deadly Education. But I bought this after between Black Friday and Christmas at some point. Haven't read it yet. It's not great, frankly. Okay, this is absolutely embarrassing. When I turned 21, my in-laws got me the first half of Philippa Gregory's series on the Tudor Queens. How is it called, the series? Let me find this for you very quickly. Tudor Court novels, they're called, more or less. They were a gift from my in-laws. Still haven't read this. I'm turning 24. So that's how long they've been in my house. That's bad. The Poppy Wars. This was a gift from my friend Celia. Let's see if I can find the letter that she wrote. This was delivered to my house the 17th of October 2021. If I might leave this to one of the last books that I read just because it's a series, but I only have the first one. So if I'm going to read it, I'll probably want to read second and third one as well. So this is probably going to be the last book of this TBR that I read. The Sin Eater. I got this in August when I first moved to Edinburgh from this really cool bookshop called Rare Birds Bookshop, which only holds female authors, which is great. I got it in a whim. I don't even know if I'm going to like it, but I'm going to read it. So yeah. The Bastard of Istanbul by Elif Shafak. I got this when I went to Greenwich with Greg in May 2021. So, you know what I mean. A Little Life by Hania Yanagihara. Another book that I've had for over 2 years. Embarrassing, I know. So this is definitely another one of those books that I might read during the month of February. Las Furias Invisibles del Corazón, The Invisible Fairies of the Heart by John Boyne. I stole this from my mom over October, November, like the weekend from October to November. And I need to give it back to her, so I need to read it. And last but not least, How to Stay Sane in an Age of Division by Elif Shafak. This one's quite short, so this might be like an afternoon read. But yeah, let's count out how many of these books I have, okay? There's 30 books in here. So this is basically going to be the majority of my reading year, since my reading goal is to read 40 books. I don't think this is normal, and I don't think this is acceptable. And a lot of times people glorify having a lot of books in your TBR shelf as, you know, buying books and reading books is two different hobbies, which I fully agree with, but at the same time, it is a waste of money if you don't use them, if you don't read them. You know what I mean? So I'm trying very hard to be conscious of what I read and what I buy, especially this year. So this is definitely unacceptable. This is not going to be happening anymore, hopefully. But yeah, I think that the way I think this is going to look out is for February, besides reading the one that I'm reading now, which is A Deadly Education, the second one. It's called The Last Graduate, I think. I'm gonna be reading Spinning Silver by Naomi Novik, The Goldfinch by Donna Tartt, and A Little Life by Hania Yanagihara. So I'm gonna put those first 3 in here because those are my top 3. Other books that I want to prioritize is, I'm going through them right now. So like, as you can see, there was zero preparation for this. I think in March I'll read Chimamanda, Half a Yellow Sun. And I'll also read Sangre y Arena. And then I think I will also read Gazania and El Legado de las Dryden. So I'm going to be reading these 4 next. And I'm trying to put them in order so that I can actually commit to it in an easier way. So that looks about right. I think next I'll go on a bit of a historical fiction downhole for April. And I'll read A Sin Eater, the Dark Tides book, and The Betrayals. These 2 actually go back to the normal bookshelf. But there we go. Okay. I want to read this in October. I really want to read The Maidens soon at some point. So I'm going to put here the ones that I want to read this soon. Actually, I'm going to take The Sin Eater out of here, I think. I really want to read Elif Shafak soon as well. And It Ends With Us by Colin Hoover. So I think these are my top priority. These books over here that you can see. I will be prioritizing these books first. And then I would like to read all of Philippa Gregory over the October month. So I might stop going through my TBR for a couple months and then go back in October, because I think Philippa Gregory is perfect for October. I think I will read these in the summertime because they're great. And so for Patrick Rothfuss. And the other spare books that I have, I think I'm just gonna go ahead and read them on a whim, kind of like for like whenever I feel like it. But I definitely want to prioritize reading these books first. I don't know if this one's gonna fit in here. Ma'am, are you gonna fit? Yeah. So if I could get these books read by the end of March, that would be awesome. Super happy with that. Then I'll see what else to read, because I like to read books that match the environment. So I like to read like summer books in summer, winter books in winter, yada yada yada. But that's not an option anymore. The goal is to get through this TBR swiftly and quickly. So I'm gonna do that. Also, I'm already seeing in my future a Throne of Glass reread that I would like to postpone until the last minute possible. So that's something to factor in, because that's 8 books. But honestly, I think that if this shows us anything, is that there's a difference between buying books because you like to buy books and buying books for the sake of buying books. And I think that that's something that I had very clearly understood when I was younger. And then as I became more independent, and frankly my mom and dad were not around anymore to babysit me, I kind of have lost it over the last few months. Granted, Edinburgh is this great city of literature that just inspires you to buy books. But I think there's a difference between being inspired to buy books and going broke because you bought too many books. So I think that I'm going to do my very best to kind of empty my TBR. I also really want to get a library card, because there's a couple books that I really want to read, namely all of Robin Hobb, which is like 16 books, and that's just gonna be like impossible for me to buy. And also N.M. Jenkins, the 5th season. I also don't know if I'm gonna love those, so I'm gonna get the library copy first. But yeah, hopefully with some time this stops happening. What I'm doing right now is I'm saving all of those books that I want to buy on my Waterstones wish list, and not buying them, not looking at them, just like saving them, so that when I have time and money to buy them, I can look at them and sort of buy without making the same mistakes I've done in this time around, because this has to stop right now. So let's see, we'll keep a countdown of all of the books that I read that are on my TBR, and hopefully I can say that by the end of 2022 I have a TBR with 1 or 2 books, maybe 5, but like not 30. Like it's que, like, I'm thinking about it and like, it's insane how many books are in here. And how many more books I'm gonna be buying simply because of the book club, for example. It's crazy to me. Like, I don't understand why I did this, but I'm not doing it anymore. So yeah, this is my commitment as my 22. One of my main goals really is to read more and to read more, like, be more wise with money. So somehow those two are tangled up for me. So here we are. But hopefully, you know, it works out well for me. I hope it does, because I really want to put a stop to this. I don't think this is how reading should be, even though it is what, you know, is normalized by the community and everything, you know, all these endless TBRs. That's just not working for me anymore. I get so overwhelmed that I don't even know what book to pick. So for now, let's get going with what we have, and hopefully it will work out great. I invite you to join me in this journey if this is something that you also struggle with. Just read all of the books you already own and try and see, you know, if this is something that you could potentially consider cutting back on. Because if it is, then maybe you should, just like me. But yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you liked it, then don't forget to like, subscribe, comment, and all that jazz. You can also follow me on @BookandPrejudice on Instagram, where I also post more content and more book reviews, if that's what you like. And I will see you guys next week with another video. Bye bye!